The first $100,000 is the hardest. This is especially true if you're coming out of school with little money to start and maybe have a decent amount of debt. Granted, it's possible to earn your bachelor's degree with no debt, but I'll leave that for another video. The only real assets that you have is your skill, education, and maybe a job. Getting to $100,000 in savings and investing seems daunting, but it can be done with some discipline, persistence, and consistency. So let's talk about why the first $100,000 is the hardest. Charlie Munger is a billionaire. He is Warren Buffett's business partner at Berkshire Hathaway. He is also a lawyer and investor, but he is probably best known for changing Buffett's investment philosophy from one focused on fundamentally cheap stocks to one focused on high-quality businesses that compound over time. There are some good books on Charlie Munger, including one called Damn Right, Behind the Scenes with Berkshire Hathaway billionaire Charlie Munger. There's also a paragraph in the book that is very insightful. Munger has said that accumulating the first $100,000 from a standing start with no seed money is the most difficult part of building wealth. Making the first million was the next big hurdle. To do that, a person must consistently underspend his income. Getting wealthy, he explains, is like rolling a snowball. It helps to start on the top of a long hill. Start early and try to roll that snowball for a very long time. It helps to live a long life. And of course, there's another version of Munger's wisdom. The first $100,000 is a bitch, but you gotta do it. I don't care what you have to do. If it means walking everywhere and not eating anything that wasn't purchased with a coupon, find a way to get your hands on $100,000. After that, you can ease off the gas a little. Munger pretty much identified the 3 key points to building wealth: spend less than you earn, invest, and compound. For some people, the first $100,000 is the hardest because they never figure out how to spend less than they earn. It takes planning a budget and paying off debt, creating an emergency fund, and then investing. I would argue that it's not so hard, it just takes discipline, persistence, and consistency. The important part is that the amount you save early on in your journey to financial independence matters far more than your investment returns. Let's run some numbers using a handy investment calculator. If you save $1,000 per year and assuming an 8% return, that means it takes 28.62 years to build that first $100,000. But if you save $5,000 per year at that same 8%, it'll take you 12.68 years. And if you save $10,000 per year at that same rate, the time drops even further to 8 years. On the other hand, if your return jumps up to 10% per year, it still takes 7.55 years to attain $100,000. There's one other point that comes out of this example. It's never too late to start. Granted, starting early helps, but even if you are starting at age 40, you can easily hit your first $100,000 in about 8 years or so and be in a pretty good position by 60 or 65. Next, the first $100,000 is the hardest since some people never figure out how to invest. They kind of just jump right in and make too many mistakes. In my opinion, this is not a good plan since real money is at risk. If you want to educate yourself more about investing in dividends, then I suggest taking a course or watching more videos. The main problem on why the first $100,000 is the hardest is that people do not develop a workable plan that they can stick with. The reason that I like dividend growth investing is that it's simply and has been proven to work. Dividend growth investing also has some advantages in that its costs are low. You are in charge and have control, and you don't need to sell investments. Lastly, the first $100,000 is the hardest for some people since they do not stay invested and leverage the power of compounding. They do not let their money work for them. This is an important aspect of building wealth. Once you get to $100,000, the power of compounding starts to become significant. A 3% dividend yield on $100,000 is $3,000. When that $3,000 is reinvested, it adds to your total value, and next year you have $3,090 in dividends, and that does not include any new money that you add. If you leverage the power of compounding, your money grows. If done right, your second $100,000 should be attained faster than your first $100,000. If you have $100,000 to start with, there are other investing options as well. Ultimately, your savings and investing snowballs as the years pass, and then you make it to $1 million. It just takes time to achieve your financial independence. But what are your thoughts? Is the first $100,000 the hardest? Comment your thoughts below. And as always, take care of your money.